Welcome back to an additional course module for learning to print cash with your writing. Due to a lot of feedback from the current course, I did get some questions from a few of my students that said, hey, we want to learn a little more about some of the popular outsourcing or freelancing websites. So I did go into a little bit of that throughout the course, but you guys requested, and at your request, you wanted more additional, I guess, details, sort of to speak. So right now, what I have here, and I will put this up on the course, this is a freelancer's guide to earning more on Elance. So this is this is probably the most popular outsourcing website on the internet. And I'm not going to make a promise as of yet, but I will probably try to work on another similar video for the second most popular outsourcing or freelancing website, which is, I would probably say, notably odesk.com. Okay, odesk.com. I believe freelancer.com and Elance have merged, but don't quote me on that. So I at least want to focus on the top two platforms. So here, as this being published, because this was published by Elance, it's going to give you very detailed information that is not only applicable to Elance as a platform, but also it will be applicable to other outsourcing platforms, because these platforms typically work the same. There are a few subtleties and nuances that they have difference, and I'll try my best to highlight those in this particular video. But I did want to let you know that this information can be applied to guru.com or scriptlance.com or even fiverr.com, because principles hold true no matter what the platform is. So let's begin. Freelancer's Guide to Earning More on Elance. All right, so this is kind of a rough table of contents for this particular report. You can have, they have chapter 1, work differently. And that kind of highlights a bit of the differences of Elance from some of the other platforms. Number 2, which I really want you guys to really highlight and focus on, is how to make your profile shine like a diamond. Okay, I really want you guys to whip out your pens and pads and really take notes on that particular part of the presentation. The second and third most probably key part of this presentation today will be point 3 here, your job search, finding great work fast, and also number 4, your proposal and the perfect pitch. Okay, so 2, 3, and 4. If you don't take any other notes, you don't pay attention to anything else in this video, definitely take notes and pay attention for those sections. All right, so here, this just highlights, this is kind of a welcoming to Elance, and I'm not going to really necessarily go in here too much, but I will highlight one portion here. Obviously, never pay to work on any of these platforms. Believe it or not, I get messages from students saying, hey, I came by this outsourcing website. Should I pay $29 so I can bid on work? And my answer is emphatically no. No, no, no. Never pay to be on any of these platforms, because you have to keep in mind you are providing a service. You are a subject matter expert in some way, shape, or form. So why should you pay to be on someone else's website to provide services for their clients on their website? It just doesn't make sense. But one thing I did want to highlight for this part is what exactly is Elance. Okay, Elance is where people work differently. Now, that's their trademark term or whatever. And you may be familiar with Elance. If you aren't, then this was a treat. But they're an online workplace for businesses, and this is where people go to hire and collaborate with skilled online freelancers. So everyone in this course should definitely sign up for an Elance account, a Odesk account, a Guru.com account, and a Fiverr account. Those are kind of the 3 or 4 platforms I like for my students to at least have a profile up on. And for getting started, you can obviously get started on one of them and kind of work your way around, especially when you find a niche, especially when you find where you want to be with regard to writing and bidding on freelance writing jobs. Okay, so some of these platforms lend themselves for people that are into development, people that develop apps, people that do social media marketing, people that do search engine optimization. Okay, so for you and for you taking this course, your particular skill set is writing. Okay, so I want you to first find a niche, and then it makes it much easier to go to these different platforms to actually try to select the jobs that you can apply for. All right, and not to brag, Elance has over 500,000 businesses that post 100,000 plus jobs per month. Okay, now think about that for a second. I really want you to ponder upon that one statistic there on the Elance site. Okay, Elance has over 500,000 businesses that post 100,000 jobs per month. All right, I get a lot of questions saying, oh, well, why will they hire me? I don't have any previous experience. If you're a decent writer, if you submit your work on time, if your work is grammatically correct and there are no misspellings, okay, then you could definitely at least get 5 of those 100,000 jobs. Believe me, it's as simple as putting together a profile, maybe coming in with your bid slightly lower than people that have tons of experience, because you have to think from the perspective of your client. They're going to be taking a bit of a risk to hire you. Okay? All right, but think about that number. 500,000 businesses and 100,000 jobs per month. You can at least get 4 of those jobs on each of the platforms that you work on. All right. All right, so this may be, you may have heard this information before, especially for those that are already freelance writers, but for those that are newbies, for those that are looking for extra income, or for those that took this course just to learn how to go about earning a kind of a side hustle, this is pretty much how all the platforms work, but I'm going to read it in context of Elance. So to work at Elance, you obviously have to have an internet connection, and you have to have a talent. You have to have some type of service to provide. In your case, it'd be writing. So to use Elance to find jobs, you have to complete jobs in what they call a secure workroom. So we also they take care of all the paperwork. They collect all the money for you, all the money that's due from a client. They pass it on to you to make sure that you get paid. They wire that to your bank account. Okay, as a freelancer working on Elance, it doesn't cost you a penny. So remember my note from earlier in this video, you should never have to pay a membership fee in order for you to join one of these platforms. All right, so how does Elance make their money? They actually make their money by adding a small 8.75% service fee above and beyond your price. So for example, when you submit a $500 proposal for doing some sales copy for a particular website, they will add a fee to that quote and pass it on to your client. So your client will actually pay that 8.75%. So your client will see a quote for $543.75. And upon delivery of the work, they will deduct the $43.75 and pass the remaining $500 to you. Now, not all of the platforms work this way. Okay. For example, what's the website? So many websites in my head. I apologize. For example, Odesk, the money will actually come out of your pay. Okay. So the hiree, or the person that's hiring you, they can choose to pay. And Odesk actually charges 10%. So you will have, if this was the case with this $500 proposal, you'll actually have 10% removed from your $500. So you would net $490 if the hirer decided to pass on the fees to you. But that's something that you can negotiate as a freelancer. You don't always have to take a hit on the fees. You can negotiate that when bidding on your work. Okay, so I'm going to finish this particular video right now because we're getting closer to the 10-minute point, and then I'm going to continue this Elance guide on making more money on Elance for learning to print cash with your writing. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.